Towards the beginning of 2020, Robert Shwartzman had the Formula 2 championship in the bag. But then a poor result in Silverstone and bad results for the rest of the season meant that he would only come in front of Nikita Mazepin. Artem Markelov barely got any points in 2020 with a bad car, bad luck, and just all-round bad season. He was just bad. And their careers will be completely the same. Find out more after the intro. You have to look at 2017 to see his skill, where he came second in the championship against one of the greatest Formula 1 drivers of all time, Charles Leclerc, who, after getting pole in Monaco, the most recent Grand Prix, had a gearbox failure. Yep. Well, Charles Leclerc, all-round good driver, you could say, and the fact that he wins the championship in his first season, that's easy peasy. But what I may mention is that in Spa, he got disqualified for technical infringement. So you could say he's kind of like Liam Lawson in that. This season wasn't just a dud year. It had such greats as Alexander Albon, who got in a Red Bull in his first ever season in F1. Jordan King, who is a good driver. Sergio Sergio Cameron, who is also a good driver. Not enough, he also beat Ralph Boschung, famed good F2 driver. Sergei Sirotkin, Williams Formula 1 driver who got into F1 the next year. And Alex Palau, the only man in IndyCar right now, putting up a fight against Scott Dixon. These are great drivers he beat. Artem Markelov has a long career with lots and lots of success. Just look at these statistics and you can see that he is a good driver. Yes, he may not get there fast or first, but he's consistent, he's got lots of experience, and in 2020, I'm not sure he paid that much for his seat. Meanwhile, his teammate, the bloke, his dad sold his Ferrari F40 to get him that seat. And you can see that if you can get a seat like that, you must be a pretty good driver. And he consistently got more out of that dog hype of a car than most drivers could get out of their cars. You see, he never had the highest budget. And I'm not going to accuse Charles Leclerc of doing anything bad, although Primo, on the other hand, there's a reason why they're so dominant. And he never made it to F1 because reasons. F1 is hard. So if you're good enough, that doesn't mean you get a seat. Now let's look at Robert Shwartzman. In the beginning of 2020, Robert Shwartzman was the best driver. And I'd even say at the end, he was also the best driver. All through the season, he was the best driver. I'm not going to act against that. But why did he not win the championship? Well, it all started in Silverstone, where he had a bad weekend. Then he just got bad qualifying, then bad reliability. And just same with Artem Markelov's season. A little bit after Silverstone. Of course, you may be wondering, one bad season is not enough to ruin his career, especially when it was his first season in Formula 2. It's understandable why he didn't win the championship. Well, I would like to add that, yes, you're completely right, but also Oscar Piastri, Renault junior driver, who is currently fighting for the Formula 2 championship. Also had bad luck in Silverstone. So that's not really an argument on why he should have won the championship. But because you may be saying, cut him at some slack. It's his first season. He'll get back. He'll easily make it to F1. Except, I'm not so confident about that. Look at these results. Formula 4, he started out slow, got good, and his career looks standard, of course. Then he won the Toyota Racing Series. Then in 2019, he won the Formula 3. Then he came fourth in Formula 2. Those are some good statistics. This year, he's coming 8th. That is not good enough. That is a sign of stagnation. And when you've got stagnation, then you won't make it to F1. Even if in 1 year, 2 years, he eventually wins a championship, he might end up like Nick de Vries. And as I like Robert Shwartzman as much as the next guy, but I don't think he's going to make it to F1. Not enough seats. Too many good talents. It's just, maybe if he turns around this season, he will make it to F1. He's just behind Liam Lawson, just in front of Felipe Drugovich, which is alright, very good. He will certainly have a good career if he can get a seat in IndyCar. I think that would be a good option. Of course, relatively easy to get into. He's got the skills. I'm sure if he could easily get a seat in the IndyCar. Of course, he could get a seat in touring cars and stuff. That would honestly, I'd say switching career would be best option to get out of the red. Of course, if he wants to make a lot of money, he should stick with F1. But his only hope now is that 2021 regulations bring in a lot of new teams. Well, maybe 1 or 2 new teams. That is his best shot of getting into F1. Because right now he needs some drivers in F1 to retire. And he needs those to be Ferrari drivers. So that is all.